Hey everybody, so we're back again here with the Alpharetta Rotary podcast. We've got a couple new guests with us today. We've got Teresa Rusby. She is a member of our club and currently serving on the board in a number of different things in the club. We have another guest, Lawrence Mulkey, here with us today. He's a charter member of the Alpharetta Rotary Club, and just delighted to have them with us to talk just Rotary today. Awesome. So I'd love for Teresa to introduce herself real quick and tell us about who she is, what her involvement is with the club today, and then we'll get on to some fun stuff.
Sounds good. Yeah, thanks for having me. This
Absolutely.
is really great. Glad to be here with you, Lawrence, and Paul, and everyone here at Rotary. My name is Teresa Rusby, and I've been a member of the Alpharetta Rotary Club for the past 2.5 years, and I've really just enjoyed my time getting to know so many people. I started off just with the interest for a nonprofit I was working with, and we, luckily and very fortunately, were getting donations for a charity event that we were doing, helping international children in need overseas. And that really sparked my interest. And the founder was like, hey, I go to the Rotary Club every Friday. It's really great to have connections and meet people. And me being a mom and not really having much social life, I thought it'd be a great place to connect with good people. And it has allowed me to just connect with amazing people, be part of my community even more than I thought, serve and give back, and really learn the power of service above self. And working with different nonprofits, jumping into ice cold water for the polar bear plunge has been really interesting, and something I said I'd never do, and here I am going into year 3 of jumping in cold water to raise money for those in need. And I just really have found myself to segue more into youth leadership. And I've really enjoyed my time working with the committee for Rotary Interact, and I'm looking forward to continuing that as I continue my service at Rotary.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And Teresa's going to be co-hosting with us today, so she's going to be helping me out. But yeah, congrats on your 3rd year in a row. Hopefully we can get you a better jersey maybe this year.
No.
I don't know if there's any background behind the jersey, but maybe we'll get you a better one.
A little bit, yeah.
Okay. And so we've got Lawrence Mulkey here, a charter member of our club, and we thank you so much for getting involved in that from the beginning, because otherwise we wouldn't have the great club that we have today. So a lot of that's thanks to you. I think we'd love to start with just asking if you could just tell us about yourself. How long have you been in Alpharetta? What did you do back in the day? Tell us a little bit about yourself.
Okay, I'm not a native Alpharettan, but I've been here since 1967. I grew up in Pickens County, Jasper, Georgia. Out of school, I went to Atlanta simply to get a job. There were not many jobs in Jasper back in the early 1950s. So I worked in Atlanta for a number of years. My wife is also from Pickens County. After she graduated Reinhardt College, she had a job in Atlanta. She worked there for 2 or 3 years before we got married. We ran an apartment there for the first couple of years, but we knew that was not home. We had been through Alpharetta. I had been through Alpharetta a number of times. And I liked Alpharetta because it reminded me of the small town Jasper that I came from. But it was within commuting distance of Atlanta, where we still were working. And I was in the life insurance business. So when we got ready to really settle down and find a place called home, Alpharetta was the place, and we bought a house out on Birmingham Highway, and we're still there. We moved there to get out in the country. It's not much country anymore, but we're still there. In 1983, the Roswell Rotary Club wanted to, I think it was called extend a club or charter a club in Alpharetta. So one of the Roswell Rotarians came to my office and invited me to a meeting and told me what it was all about. So I attended. I don't remember exactly how many people were at the meeting, but it required 25 to charter a club. So they needed everybody that attended the meeting, really. So there was like 25 or 26 to start the club. I was already a member of the Alpharetta Lions Club. Nobody told me then I shouldn't be a member of both, because either one has enough volunteer work to keep you as busy as you want to be. But and it may be surprising to a lot of Rotarians. Guess where our first meeting place was?
Where's that?
The American Legion,
Really?
Same spot?
where we're meeting today.
Wow.
The same building? Or was it across the street then? 'Cause I think they were across the street.
It may have been across the street.
Okay.
And it was a lunch meeting then, and somebody in charge would pick up the food from some restaurant there. And so, yeah, we had to, kind of serve ourselves and look after things. We have met at places all over Alpharetta. We've met at a number of restaurants, and I can't recall all of them now. We met for a while over at Country Club of the South Clubhouse, and we met for a while at Sweet Tomatoes Restaurant. There used to be on South Main Street a place called Old Cedar Inn. It's not there anymore. We met there. And so many of the restaurants that we met closed. And I said, if I owned a restaurant, I wouldn't allow the Rotary to meet there because for some reason they go out of business.
Did you ever meet at the Dixie Diner?
I don't think we did.
No? Okay.
I don't know why, really, that we didn't. Maybe it was so busy that they didn't need us there.
Right.
But I don't
Wow.
think we met there. And I don't recall there was a place, I think it was Carson's, that went out of business. Again, I don't remember all of them, but there were several different restaurants that we met that did close up. And then we moved to the Alpharetta Presbyterian Church. They had a day school there, so they had a caterer coming there anyway. So we just hitchhiked onto that and provided an extremely good breakfast. It was a good meeting facility. And I guess it might have been when COVID come along and closed everything down. I think their school closed and probably that caterer probably retired then.
Chef Doug.
So then, yeah, Chef Doug. So then we had to look for another place. And of course, we met at Alpharetta First Baptist Church for a while. Where else did we meet? I don't remember the other
Yeah, we've
places.
jumped a few spots since then, but
The other place that we met, yeah.
so I'd love to jump back real quick. You talked about driving through Alpharetta coming up from Atlanta. When you say driving through Alpharetta in 1960s, what was it when you were driving through Alpharetta at that time?
A very small town. There was, I believe, a couple of service stations. There was what had formerly been a Chevrolet auto dealership right at this location where this building is.
Oh, really?
But it was closing out the auto dealership, and they were just like a service station repair shop at the time. It initially was C.P. Brady and Sons, but most of that was before I moved here. But it was Ben Brady and his brother that continued operating that for a while. So that old building was here. The post office was actually diagonally across the street from here on North Main Street. And Parsons Hardware was, I believe, where Smoke Jack restaurant is now. And the Jolly Chef restaurant and maybe another restaurant. And Bates and Wood grocery store was right at the intersection of Marietta Street coming into Main Street where there's a dry cleaners now.
Mm-hmm.
It was Bates and Wood grocery store.
Interesting.
And, but it was just a quiet little town.
Yeah.
I mean, so from driving into that and expanding from the break off of the Roswell Club to now the Rotary Club of Alpharetta, how did you gain more members and momentum in a small town? Probably not as much technology and social media then and outreach. How did you grow the members over the years?
It was slow growth for a long time, and just in-person recruiting, you know, as a few more people moved to town, but again, it was slow growth at the time. And one of our first fundraising projects, and I don't remember all of them, but one of them we would cut and sell firewood. There was somebody had a contact with a man that owned a lot up. It was about the Forsyth County line, and he had logs up there. I don't know if he was in the clearing business or just what, but he usually had a pile of logs up there, and I think he donated the logs to us. The members would take their chainsaws and go saw firewood, and I guess we rented a wood splitter, or somebody might have had one, I don't know, but we'd cut and haul firewood, and actually we bought most of it.
Members, yeah.
As I recall, it was $25 a pickup load for firewood.
That's pretty good.
But that made us a little money, and as small as the club was, the few projects that we had, it didn't take a lot of money, but also that was the best we could do with what little money we did have.
Mm-hmm.
So what was a successful fundraiser? What would you say?
And later, the club started having a golf tournament.
Okay.
And I'm not a golfer, so I don't know all the ins and outs of that, but that raised a fair amount of money. We also had a member named Buddy Castleberry, and he passed away as a younger man, and then the golf tournament was known as the Buddy Castleberry Golf Tournament.
Yeah.
And I don't remember the details of how much money that it raised, but people like to play golf better than they like to cut firewood. We made a lot more money, so that became the major fundraiser for a number of years.
So we've got, talking about when originally the club started, I'm thinking now, we've got the mayor, we've got city council, we've got the chief of police, chief of fire, a lot of notable people, but also a lot of great business owners in the town. And you were a business owner back in the day. Who, if you can remember, who's some of the, the bigger people? I think there was a concrete guy, right? That was maybe one of the original members, but who were some of the other charter members? And I know actually one of the charter members, Senior Driscoll, and now Kirk, his son, is now in the club and was a district governor for Rotary. But I believe he was also Ken, right?
Ken. He was probably the second or third president of the club. In fact, the president of First Colony Bank, when the club was formed, the president was named Edgar Smith, and he was the first president, and that may have only lasted part of a year. Don't recall if it come election time for a new president or if he got transferred out of Alpharetta. But he was the charter president, and then Ken Driscoll was either the next one or the third one. And Ken did a good job, and of course Ken was my banker for a number of years. And anytime I ask a banker, what is your interest rate? I mean, for loans, because I'm needing to borrow money, And Randall Porter, that I understand owned, I believe it was Fulton Concrete Company. He was a huge supporter, a member of Rotary, and a huge financial supporter. And I think he did a lot of behind-the-scenes financial support that was not all that public, but I guess he helped sustain the club that it was able to get going. And he developed serious health problems, and of course has since passed.
He did. Correct me if I'm wrong. He did all of the concrete at the American Legion, or a lot of it.
I don't know.
I think they named the field after him,
Okay.
the baseball field. So I think he did a lot of that concrete work around there as well.
I don't know about that really. A lot of the charter members, Alpharetta used to be pretty much, and may still be, a transit area where people on the jobs would get transferred in and then maybe get transferred back out. So some of the early members, charter members, had moved away from Alpharetta, and you know, we're no longer in the club. Of course, we had to recruit new ones to replace them for the club to grow some. But it's amazing. When the club was chartered, well, I never dreamed that Rotary would become what it has become in Alpharetta. Also never dreamed that Alpharetta would grow like it's grown either. It was still just a sleepy little town for a number of years after then. But then in the last 20 or 25 years, it's just exploded. But also, I guess Rotary has grown more. In fact, for the last several years, it seems to me Rotary is the place to be. Particularly if you're new to Alpharetta and you want to meet people and you want to do something to help others, service above self, Rotary is the place to be. And of course, we know there's strong ties between the Rotary Club and the city of Alpharetta. I mean, we work closely with projects, and of course, some of the city officials are Rotarians, which, you know, makes for a good relationship, really.
Absolutely. Was it like that back in the day as well? When the club first started, were the city officials involved, or not really?
Not as much as they are now. There may have been one or two involved, but not much, really. Not much. But I know when David Belle was mayor, he wanted Alpharetta to become I believe, the technology center of the South. And I don't know what all is required for that, some kind of infrastructure and all that, but it's become that.
Yeah.
Obviously not just one person's influence, but with that message and that desire, and a lot of people have jumped on board, and that's, that has occurred.
I know. I think I loved to hear you saying even 40 years ago to today that the Rotary Club is a place to connect and to be a part of, and that you still stand firm on that today. It just shows it's a great place for connection, growth, support for each other, and getting involved in so many missions that you don't even know what it could turn into, or support to others, and to find your niche in place, that it's a welcoming place for Alpharetta. Even though it's grown so big, it still feels so small and at home.
It does, and the great thing is, and for me, it feels good to be a part of something much bigger than I am. Yeah. You know, with the efforts, the knowledge that different members have, and the money that's raised, and that's mind-boggling to me at the vast amount of money that's raised, and you mentioned about plunging in the ice-cold water.
Yes. Whatever it takes, Lawrence.
I never dreamed that people would pay money, money to do that. Now, I'm willing to contribute to that financially, but I'm not willing to plunge in that
we
water.
need the best of both, so appreciate
My
those
page
efforts.
is open, so.
Let's see, I believe it's Steve Beecham that says there's 3 T's. Everybody contribute some: time, talent, or treasures.
Sure.
And we've really got in my opinion, a great combination of that in our Rotary Club.
I think you have to.
And I have visited, I've made up meetings at a lot of different Rotary Clubs in different places. And I don't know any of them that has as much fun as our club has, to be a early morning meeting,
Yes.
and everybody being happy and wide awake and alert and not only willing to do things, but want to do things. And in this area, of all the affluence that's here, there's still a lot of people in need.
Yes.
A lot of people in need.
Agree. More than people think.
Absolutely.
Yeah,
That's very
yeah,
true.
thanks.
Well, going off of that real quick, I'm wondering myself, what does a Rotary Club meeting look like when it was first started? Because I know now you come in, we hang out, everybody gets some coffee, talks, catches up from the week. We get breakfast, we sit down, and then we have announcements and then a program. What did it look like? How was it different? Was it kind of the same? What did it look like back in the day?
It was very similar. One thing they did have then that I guess we don't have time to do now. I believe it was called Sunshine, where on a volunteer basis people would tell a funny story or something, you know, just to get some laughs and everybody enjoy it. But now it seems like that's not needed. Everybody's got their morning coffee and wanting to talk anyway. In fact, it seems it's hard for the president to get control.
That's right.
People
Little
still
rowdy sometimes.
still want to talk.
Absolutely.
And one thing has not been mentioned, but I think I read in the Rotary magazine that one of the reasons that people, I believe it was like over age 60, continues to be in the club is for the friendships. And that's where some of my best friends are, really, is Rotarians. I look forward to Friday mornings, you know.
Same. I don't like when I miss a Friday morning. I feel like my week is off.
Yeah. And some of the really, I mean, the older members, Rex Grizzle and Phil Kingry, those folks have been around for a long time. I have not asked them, but I feel sure that they enjoy the friendships and the camaraderie, you know, at the meetings, and we're part of something, you know, that's helping locally and worldwide.
Yeah.
And I know some of the projects that we do in foreign countries. I personally am not involved and don't do that traveling and go there, but people there have needs. And it's good to feel like that with my little contribution combined with a lot of other people's contribution can make it happen.
Yeah, absolutely.
Can make it happen, yeah. And that's a good feeling. And I read somewhere, I don't know whose quote that it was, and it may have been on the Rotary weekly newsletter that
Yeah, he puts a quote in there every week.
happiness is not brought about by what we get, but what we give.
Love that.
And it makes me feel good to give. Now, I don't do as much work in Rotary as I used to do. I don't have as much energy as I used to have either. But the fact is, I can contribute and do contribute to the causes, the things that Rotary is doing. I can do that better now than I used to be able to do.
Yeah.
I used to make enough trips to Ken Driscoll's bank and say I need to borrow some more money. So,
I'm sure he appreciated that.
yeah, he liked my business.
Yes, I agree.
And I appreciated him working with me and loaning me money. But at my age, I hope I don't need to get any more loans now. But
Well, Lawrence, I think that's what we want is, you know, I work with a lot of youth for Interact for the younger generations and having some younger members in the club. We want them to be able to feel that they have this place of connection and to keep bringing in more new members, but for the right reasons. I mean, what would you tell someone that's interested in Rotary or wants to join Rotary? What would be some of the advice you'd give them or tips to say, hey, this is, like you mentioned, for friendship and it could turn into so much more? What are some things that I think our youth or younger members really need to know about Rotary?
come to a meeting, see what it's like. Yeah.
And then just lock them in day one, right?
In fact, I don't know if you know or not. I sponsored Will Daniels,
Okay. Get out. No way.
and I said I only sponsor people that make better Rotarians than I am.
That's a good point.
When I joined Rotary, they needed me. I didn't have to qualify, but I think it's good that new members have to meet certain criteria and tell why they want to become Rotarians. We have had some in the past, new members come in and they're high profile for a little while and they disappear. Mm-hmm. So it seems like they're just wanting to get a prospect list or make a few connections for personal reasons, and certainly that's not the intention of Rotary or not the benefit of Rotary, really.
Yeah, I like we've kept those standards and those protocols. I think it's important. It keeps us who we are to the core of what Rotary really is about and maintain our presence in the community for the right reasons.
Also, I might say this, and I have probably not told our current president, but it seems that through the years, our leadership keeps getting better and better. I keep thinking,
Thank you.
I keep thinking it.
For sure.
You know, we've reached the peak. It won't be any better, and it seems like it does. Of course, maybe I shouldn't tell him that.
We need to keep him on
I
his toes.
agree. Thank you.
Paul, I mean, hearing that, like, how does that make you feel? And everything from what Lawrence has said, I mean, it's obviously great startup and foundations, and from where you're at now, what you see. I mean, how does that all come together for you?
Feels really good to hear that from Mr. Lawrence, because I really admire this man. And I know I've told him multiple times, but the first time, my story when I first came into Rotary was I sat in the back, and I had just started my State Farm agency in Roswell, and I sat down at the back table with Mr. Lawrence and Joel Canada and a couple other characters. And, you know, I was kind of taken back. I didn't really know what to expect. You know, I was probably the youngest guy in the room by a few years at least, and I didn't know what the Rotary Club was. I had no idea what was going on, and I just kind of sat there, and then I found out that Lawrence was also a State Farm agent back in the day. The original State Farm agent of Alpharetta, right? I mean, he was the guy here. So you needed insurance, you went to him. And so we bonded instantly over that. We would talk about how it was now and how it was then, and how much it's changed and how they used to do stuff. And it was a lot of fun, and kind of gave me some encouragement and like energy to like keep going, because the beginning's real tough in any business. And
Yeah, it is.
I was going through the toughest time right then and there when I was meeting with y'all every week. So talking to you was like a breath of fresh air, and seeing how you developed and stuck with it and taking your advice really helped me like become who I am. So I truly appreciate you, and that pulled me into the club right away. Talking to you and talking to Joel Canada, who, rest his soul, you know, he was a character. I mean, we sat in the back. He'd cause trouble back there, but what a great guy, and I'm still friends with his son, and get all my my car stuff taken care of by his son now, Carlisle. So, yeah, no, it makes me feel great to hear that from one of the most respected people in our club. Absolutely. So, with that, I would love to know, because I know how I felt coming in and how I felt sitting at the table in the back with y'all. And then it helped me realize like why I joined, after going through that, like really what my purpose was there and all that. When your friend or acquaintance from the Roswell Rotary approached you, came into your State Farm office back in the day, did you know what Rotary was? And if not, if so, what did he say to you, like, to get you to come to the Rotary Club? What did you think?
As I recall, and actually I did not know him. He was a stranger,
Really?
but from the Roswell Rotary Club, yeah.
Wow.
So obviously he was trying to recruit people to come to the meeting, and he told me he's from Roswell Rotary Club. They were attempting to charter a club in Alpharetta, and there's going to be a meeting. You know, told me when and where, and can you come? Will you come? I said, sure, I'll come. So
you were still a member at the Lions Club as well, then you mentioned, so you decided to do both.
yeah. And I'm still a member of the Lions Club.
I've heard that from several members.
Yeah, actually I've been a member of the Lions Club 47 or 48 years, because I was a Lion before Rotary was chartered. But either one will give you all the volunteer work that you want to do, as you know.
For sure, yes.
So what did you think when you went to that first meeting? Were you like, I don't know what this is, or it aligned with kind of what you had already known from the Lions Club, or what made you want to stick with it?
I don't know for sure, really, but naturally, I was encouraged to. You know, they needed the numbers to get 25, but I thought, yeah, this seems like a worthwhile thing to do. That's worthy of my time and attention. I didn't have many dollars to contribute, but I could do a little.
You had the time and the talent.
I don't know about the talent, but the time anyway. Yeah.
So after you got this chapter started, or our club, what were some of the things, even maybe with the Roswell Club or our club now, what were some of the things that you guys were supporting back then? I know you were talking about how it spoke to you, putting in dollars for things that are happening overseas. What are some of the things that were happening here that needed the support of the Rotary Club? Or even with some of the first fundraisers, where did that money go towards?
I don't recall exactly, but I do know that for a long, long time, Rotary has been supporting North Fulton community charities.
Yes.
That was probably one of the earlier things that we did. And there were some other fundraisers that I don't recall what they are. But I remember the wood cutting, and we did that more than 1 year. And
I think it just shows that there was a need, and you guys were filling it. People were filling it. It grew, and you continued to fill that need. And I mean, we support things for seniors, homeless, those in need, obviously overseas, but local too. Like you said, those that had come to hard times and challenges and need the support, small or big.
Yeah. And we have been involved for a number of years with the senior citizens, what is it?
Meals on Wheels?
Golden Age Club, I guess, up on Cogburn Road.
Okay.
Two of our members, Harvey and Sophia, they were members of the Golden Age group, and I went up there several Thanksgivings. I was part of the group that went up there and helped provide their Thanksgiving meal for them.
That's nice.
And also the Dogwood Square, right behind their office. I don't know, I guess for the last year or two, I have not been involved in that. But before Rotary did, my office and I did that at Christmas time. We pooled our resources, and rather than buying gifts for each other in the office, we put together fruit bags for those people. So after I retired and the new agent didn't continue doing that, I headed that up for Rotary for a number of years. Go down to the farmer's market and get a few cases of this and this and this. We'd assemble those and take them out to the Dogwood Square. In fact, I've got 7 grandsons, and most of them have been involved, and I invited them as little kids to go with us there, and just to be introduced to that and see what it's all about, to help somebody else. Steve, what's his
Gillard.
name? Gillard, yeah. He's been Santa for that for several years. And of course, that place, they keep it pretty warm inside with being elderly folks that live there. And with my grandkids being there, and of course, him being Santa Claus, and going down the hall, handing out bags and asking if they wanted a picture took with Santa. And of course, Steve, with being kind of hefty and it being warm in there, and him had on an extra suit, you can imagine about what things were like with him. And he has reminded me more than once of one of my grandsons asked him, says, "Is it kind of toasty in there?" And it was, I mean,
he had rosy cheeks, extra rosy cheeks.
About to smother. Yeah, one of my grandkids said, "Is it toasty in there?"
Oh my gosh.
Classic.
How did that start? Like, I know you said when you were at your State Farm office, which for reference is right in front of it, basically. Your State Farm office you built, right?
Yeah.
Right on Main Street. Now right across from the Jiffy Lube, I guess. And I think there was an Arby's there maybe back in the day, like across the street. Well, Dairy Queen's been there forever as well. Yeah. So right across the street from there, you built your State Farm office. And right down the little side street from there is Dogwood Square, which we are continuing. And actually this Friday, we are putting together the fruit baskets and taking them down to the folks there. But how did it start? Like right off the bat, obviously you were a State Farm agent and you were thinking of ways to give back, or?
Well, that was something that our office staff and my wife and I decided together, you know, that would be a good thing to do. It's a low-income retirement home, so we knew the people's budgets that live there, the residents, their budget is pretty tight, so they probably don't buy a lot of fruit. So that was the reason that we did that. And we didn't buy baskets to put it in. We just, you know, got grocery bags, plastic bags, and put it in there. And it's amazing. And if you've been there, you know that at the response you get from those people. And even though Santa doesn't necessarily hand the bag to every door, I mean, other Rotarians are there doing that. But we ask them, would you like your picture made with Santa? Oh, yeah, he's right down the hall. Well, I didn't brush my hair this morning. I need to put on a sweater, or I need to pull off my sweater, you know. And of course, before the days of the phone cameras, we had Polaroid cameras. So, you know, they develop and give them the picture right on the spot.
Yeah.
And a lot of times these folks would say, I'm going to show this to my grandkids. You know, this is the first time I've seen Santa in so many years. I'm going to show my grandkids there really is a Santa Claus. So it was a real thrill, and probably the visit, even though it was brief, may have been worth as much to them as the fruit, because some of them, I don't think, have families, or at least not close enough to come visit them very often. So just to know that somebody thought about them and cared enough to bring them something and say, Merry Christmas, I mean, it just gives us a good feeling to do that.
Oh, that gives us a good feeling. That's happening this Friday. I just think some of those, you know, founding events is just something that could live on for Rotary forever. And I know even working with some of the youth at the high school, they were talking about their last meeting, going to visit senior centers and they were going to handwrite letters over the holidays and visit. So I think it's so special.
Yeah, I think it is. And at this stage of my life, it seems like giving something is one of the greatest thrills that I get.
Yeah.
Giving time or money and in fact, I think just anywhere you go, just to have a sunny disposition and speak nice to people and hold doors open, and you know, you never know what somebody else is going through or what they're feeling. They may have just received a bad news from a family member, a sad medical diagnosis, or they may just be lonely and not having family around. So I think it's just good, like we have at the meetings, you know, when everybody is you know, excited and thrilled to be there and seem to be feeling good, in a good mood. And I like to spread that cheer wherever I go, day by day. When we turn on the news, we just seem that our elected officials don't think that. But we need to do what we can, while we can, wherever we can.
Yeah.
Yeah, we do.
Well, I have a question for both of you.
Yes.
So I'll start with Mr. Lawrence here.
Don't say Mister, just because I'm old.
I'm going to start with Lawrence. What is your favorite thing, either that Rotary does or that you're involved with in the Rotary Club, or just your favorite thing about the club? What is your favorite?
Well, actually, I think really my favorite, we have exceptionally good speakers programs at the club. And I learn things there that I would not learn otherwise. And I've said, whoever gets the program together and contacts the speakers, I think has got the hardest job in the club, probably. I've never done that, but we do have better programs, better speakers than we used to have. And I think the club has grown to the point and has some pretty influential members in the club that has the various contacts, makes that possible. When you got just a very small club in a little town many people haven't heard of, it may be hard to get a well-known speaker. But the speakers are, now, some few of them is over my head. The high-tech things and
Yeah, I think I'm with you on that too.
and
so good.
when we had the ballet dancer the other day, I'm not into ballet dancing, so But a lot of them, you know, they're really, really good speakers, but also the friendships and the fellowship. I enjoy coming and just visiting and talking. And in fact, I try to, and I fail, but I try to make it a point to speak to the new members and young members as much as I can. And there's a lot of the younger members I really don't know, because out of 150 or 60 people and everybody milling around, you know, you don't see everybody at every meeting. But one of the thrills is, just the visiting, the fellowshipping with the people and the programs that we have. Gets my Friday started off good.
Love it.
Absolutely. Yeah. And same question for you, Teresa. What's one of your favorite things about Rotary, either that we do or that you're involved with? Just in general, what's one of your favorite things?
I think some of my favorite really has been the fellowship. I mean, for me, just being, you know, a busy mom and having just to connect with some really solid people. And for me, they've been just great mentors. I think even just on life. A few people just kind of connected it right in the beginning. You know, Karen Nolan was my advisor. So attaching to someone that has such great experience and insight, she just made me feel at home and supported what I needed, connected me to the right people. And then I haven't had a chance to go yet, but I love that there's the Women's of Rotary that get together. People like Shar has been just a great asset to me and just made me feel like at home. And just going in and just introducing myself to new people. Just the fellowship has allowed me to find a place to connect and where I can find support. And the wisdom to guide me in life and business is just, I found that place there. My favorite events has been the social events. I love being active and into fitness, so being involved in the Alpharetta K9 5K with Joe Wargo, and then supporting Jeff with the Mayor's Corporate Challenge. We have a large reach to pull all the community together, so I've loved being able to support on committees for our health and wellness events, mostly, and then really getting more involved with the youth. I have 3 daughters myself, so it's really important for me to bring volunteerism to them. Like you said, your 7 grandsons, bringing them in and being a part of stuff. My 12-year-old loves when she comes to Rotary. She just was amazed at, the great breakfast. She's like, wow, you guys do this breakfast every week? And I'm like, yeah, we do. And just everyone made her feel so special and welcome. And I love to bring her around and show her the good things we do. They jump in the water with me for the Polar Bear Challenge every year. So getting my kids involved and to spread that, it's really been important for me to see how I can expand the gift of Rotary to our youth. So it's been exciting for me to be a part of that. Yeah.
That's awesome. And you are involved with the youth.
Yes.
You're involved with our Interact Club.
Yeah.
Tell us a little bit about that real quick. What is the Interact Club? Where is it chartered out of? What is going?
Yeah, so Youth Interact is youth Rotary high school students that get together and have meetings on a monthly basis, just like we do, at their school. And they pretty much have a president, vice president, treasurer of the club. They have to run meetings and they share some service projects that they get involved in. Right now, they're starting their signups to do the polar bear plunge. They are raising money for a service project for Brazil that supports. They have different fundraisers they do throughout the year. We did a vote yesterday, actually, and they're supporting the new crisis care pantry that's going to be happening at the American Legion for supporting first responders when they help those in need from homelessness or disasters. So we have high school kids raising money to give back to their community. They're going to go out and be a part of giving back to seniors at the senior homes. And these kids just find ways to bring service. At Innovation Academy is the biggest club we have right now locally, but it can happen at any high school or throughout the community. And what I'm looking forward to as far as being on that committee is expanding that to more high schools to get more kids involved around the community, whether it's my girls' high school next to other middle schools, high school students. We've had several parents express interest for their kids to get involved. So it doesn't take much. We just need a sponsor at that school. And these kids could have a club meeting just like other meetings that they have, different clubs at their schools, and we could expand the beginning foundations of what Rotary is like for giving back in service. They can connect with North Fulton charities, and they can do collections and drives and give back throughout the year. And all we need is a few strong leaders at the school, high school juniors and seniors, just running these meetings like we do every Friday. And these kids can take that into their college experience and then into the community when they get older and be a Rotarian.
Wow.
Yeah.
Did they have any sort of interact club or youth type club when you had first chartered and started getting into our Rotary Club here?
I don't recall just what year, but it was a few years after the club was chartered. We did start Interact Club at Milton High School.
Oh, okay.
Great.
In fact, I headed it up one year.
Really?
They didn't know what they were doing, and I didn't know. I didn't know either.
Just figure it out.
But at least it was I guess a foundation to build on.
Sure.
Yeah, and of course there's been other high schools, have opened up around here as well. But I think Interact is a wonderfully good thing because kids are exposed to so many things that are not good now, and the more they can be focused on things that are good and worthwhile, and for them to be good leaders in the future, and Rotarians, yeah, I think that's wonderful.
I think a lot of our youth, they're fantastic. They have a big voice.
And they're willing to do it.
They are.
Yeah.
They truly are willing, and they feel too like it's a place for them to belong or connection,
Yeah.
and it's a resume builder for them, colleges and
Yeah.
things like that. It looks good for them to do good in the community, and it sets them apart, I think. Keeps them out of trouble.
Yeah, and that's important.
Yeah,
it
it
is.
is.
I think a lot of the trouble is created by boredom.
True.
Nothing to do.
Right?
Absolutely. Well, I'll tell you my favorite thing real quick. So, after getting to know some of the people like Lawrence and Rex and Phil and some of the other awesome people in our club, in a previous podcast, John and I talked about we are serious about the things we do, but we don't take ourselves seriously. And I think it's very evident when you meet people like Lawrence. Going off of what you just said, when you said, I headed it up, they didn't know what they were doing, I didn't know what I was doing. But you're talking about like a guy like Lawrence who's one of the cornerstones of our city. And you may not think of yourself that way, but that's how I see you. I mean, you were one of the original business owners here. You built your business right on Main Street. You built that building yourself. It's still standing today amongst some of these other bigger buildings that have been built. People drive by it every day and not realize that's the history behind it. And you were, one of the charter members of our club that's still going today, now raises hundreds and thousands of dollars pouring back into the community and doing a lot of great things. So it's people like you that we're truly grateful for to have in our community, and honestly just truly grateful to know, and thankful that I've gotten to know you. So I think that's my favorite thing about Rotary is being around people like you who are just selflessly giving back every day and not thinking twice about it and being super serious in what you do, but not taking yourself seriously necessarily. So,
And it boggles my mind at the amount of money that the Alpharetta Rotary Foundation has amounted to.
yeah.
A lot of people have higher sights than I have. So sometimes I think I got blinders on,
Yeah, that was the vision of Kyle Lewis. We started our Alpharetta Rotary Foundation a few years ago. I think it was 3 or 4 years, and it's raised a bunch of money so far, and the interest from that money is going right back into charities, just right here in Alpharetta. So it's doing a lot of good stuff for the club.
Yeah.
So,
for the community.
Oh, and for the community, yes, absolutely. So I got a final question for both of you. And I'll start with Teresa this time. So after being in the club for 2.5, 3 years, and seeing what we've accomplished, seeing what we've grown into, where do you see the club going? What do you see as the future of the Alpharetta Rotary Club?
I mean, I love the direction the Alpharetta Rotary Club is going right now. I really do. I mean, even from just starting, I think, 3 years ago, I see a lot of involvement of, the right people that we have doing the right things. I think there's the right amount of growth and direction. I think recently, even projects that are being presented, we are focusing more on service And I think that's important. I think that's where I continue to see us going. And with that, that opens us up for more opportunities, for the more attraction of the right people that's giving towards service and expanding on projects that we've talked about that need more help and more support. When we do good, we see good, more good's going to come from it. I think we're going to continue to go on a path where services are, not that it's never been our focus, but we've said to pull back to service. I've seen that over the past year. I think, and you've done a really great job too of really emphasizing that. I think that's going to stick and carry forward because it hits people in certain ways. Like you said, we give, it makes us happier, and that's what makes us better people. Yeah. And then that ripples down to other people in our lives, our communities. You share a story with a coworker, a family member, and people get excited and intrigued. I think just the excitement of what we're doing is going to continue. I think the fundraisers we're doing are only going to grow because more people are involved and they're invested, whether it's their time, treasure, or talent. And we've seen that, I think, over and over. Every fundraiser I think we've had, from when I even first started, we've maximized that goal, and we're exceeding everything we've done, from the Polar Bear Challenge for the Mayor's 5K, the Alpharetta K9 5K. Everything I've seen has been bigger and better. I think it's only going to do that because the momentum is here now. I think people see the businesses that are contributing, that maybe the dollars they are donating, their sponsorships, they're seeing the work be put to use, so they have no reason not to contribute or contribute more. So I think what we're doing is just setting ourselves up for success. And I just think where we're going is going to keep magnifying that, and we're going to good places to do good things, more than we've already been. And having the right people in leadership and support, I just see nothing but support. Even just on your team, I think you're surrounded by a great group of hands that allow you to do your job well and support others that will be filling in your spot. I've just seen people put their hands on members and guide and lead them, and not just leaving people blinded. I think that's been the biggest thing too, is seeing that support, seeing the direction we're going, and our service projects continuing to grow and develop because we have the right people behind them.
Absolutely.
And the fact that it is grown and has grown is proof to everybody that it can be done.
Exactly.
And,
yes.
and the more faith that any of us and all of us have, the better it goes.
And in stories like yours, Lawrence, and hearing them, it's inspiring to me, and it's exciting. I get excited to think, I'm in a place, in a position, surrounded by these great people that's only going to get better, and have those to continue to knowing that the Rotary is something that's going to be around for a while because it has this great momentum and reputation of service above self, and everybody should be proud to be a Rotarian, I think, because we're doing some great things.
Absolutely. Yeah, the club was here before I was born, and it'll be here after I'm dead, I'm sure. So I'm glad we could put our mark on it while we're here and keep it moving in the right direction. And speaking of the right direction, same question to you, Lawrence. What do you think, being the charter member of our club, seeing how it's grown over the years and the things that we've done, where do you see the club continuing to move towards?
Well, obviously, it's grown and become bigger and better than 42 years ago than I ever dreamed. But the fact, and since there's more people, and as she just said, the right people in the right places, and the fact that the growth, the more different projects that we're doing that are raising more and more funds than everybody can see, it's doable. It can be done. And with the growth of the city, the people coming in, and it seems that there's a fair number of people moving to the area that want to contribute and either have contributed where they came from or they want to really be a part of what's going on here. It seems that the growth should continue as it is now, and maybe even greater. Maybe even greater.
Yeah,
Agreed.
we can only hope.
I'm not a visionary like some people. I have to kind of see it, and I can't keep up sometimes. But it looks like it should continue growing, and doing wonderful things. That's what counts.
Yeah.
One of our members said, it's not about the money, it's about what the money will do.
Yes.
And sometimes even we as individuals can do something for somebody that doesn't seem very big, but it's big to them.
Mm-hmm.
And it may be, again, if somebody's having a bad day, if they're kind of in a gloomy mood, the least little thing could perk them up and help them to have a better day.
Mm.
And as we do things for kids, whether it's in the schools or daycare centers or toys for the needy or whatever, somebody must say, I really matter to somebody. Somebody cares.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I think it's wonderful.
Absolutely.
I just hope I don't get kicked out of the club for not doing enough.
You better watch yourself. You're on the list.
Yeah.
I'll make sure that doesn't happen.
Thanks.
Got it. All right, Paul. Well, you heard from us. I mean, you're not getting away too fast without you sharing your vision. So tell us a little bit about where you see this club going.
Okay. Yeah, so when I took the reins earlier this year from our presidency, I said I wanted to bring us back to some hands-on service. As you said earlier, which I completely agree with, Lawrence, doing good makes you feel good. And a lot of us have a servant's heart, so I wanted to bring a ton of opportunities to the club for people to serve in person and get back into the community and really get in touch with the community and our needs and get back to our roots of service. So I see us continuing to move in that direction, finding the community needs, meeting those community needs. I see us growing with intention. Everything these days is about growth and more money and more this and more that. But I've tried to push our club in a direction where we're attracting people who want to be involved and who want to make a difference. So hopefully we grow with intention, not just for the sake of growth. So the direction that I see us going is growing and filling more needs in the community and touching those who need us the most, and continuing to honor each other in service and friendship, basically. So,
one of the things that I didn't think of a while ago, a project that we've done for a long time, is the picking up bakery items at Fresh Market. And that's been a long going project. And I've picked that up many times.
really?
And of course the store has it that they're willing to give away. People come to North Fulton charities need that. It's a big help.
Yes.
So they need a facilitator to pick it up there and take it. And particularly with the members that we have now, I mean, it's a simple, easy project. Again, I've carried my grandkids with me a number of times in doing that, just to let them see a simple and easy thing that helps other people. But that really has been an ongoing project for, 30 years, I guess, or thereabout. And it doesn't cost the club any money to get started. It just takes somebody willing to volunteer to do that, to help somebody that's less fortunate.
All right, well, we can wrap up there. Thank you so much, Lawrence and Teresa, for being with us today. And I hope you all have a great holiday season, and look forward to serving with you in the future.
Yes,
Thanks.
likewise.
I look forward to Friday morning's meeting.
Yes, same.
I'll see you there.
Thanks for watching the Alpharetta Rotary podcast. We appreciate you visiting. We'd love for you to subscribe to our channel. Leave us some comments on what you like to hear in the future or what stood out to you in this podcast. See you next time.